Believe me, Akash, Dhaval, it's not easy doing sports. It's not easy staying away from your family. It's not easy being this COVID bubble. So mental strength, as I said, your skill is only 50%. The balance 50% comes from your mental strength and your physical strength.
Players like Trescothick, Trott, and Moeen Ali dealing with uh, mental health issues. We've had a Jonathan Trott episode where he had to quit. I think for me that was one of the more public first time a cricketer was coming out and saying he had mental health issues,
Yeah.
dealing with the pressures of the game, and which is why he quit cricket for a little while. Recently, even Glenn Maxwell did this. I think I missed the story about Moeen Ali and Chris Kothik. But before we address this, sir, what was this situation like back in the 90s when you were working with these guys a little more closely back then with Sachin and Sehwag and all of them? What, at least from an Indian perspective first, like was mental health a thing back then when it came to cricketers? Like, was that considered?
When I started working for Adidas in 1997, early 1997, it was not a huge issue at that point. It would have been an issue with players, but nobody would come out, nobody would say it openly, or nobody would like to address those problems because you cannot miss test matches. Then you'll be relegated and stuff like that. At least in the Indian scheme of things, you don't deliberately miss a test. Now, of course, you can say I'm going for my wife's first delivery and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
in those days, in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have the luxury of that. The Trescothick thing really blew everybody out because Trescothick thing was a pure personal issue between he and his wife, and he was missing her a lot. He has been a captain of Somerset for a long time.
Hmm.
Still playing.
Brilliant opener, but it hurts, and he chose family over playing regularly for England. Trout went one step ahead and he completely quit cricket because sometimes what happens, believe me, Akash, Dhaval, it's not easy doing sports. It's not easy staying away from your family. It's not easy being this COVID bubble. So mental strength, as I said, your skill is only 50%. The balance 50% comes from your mental strength and your physical strength. That is why it is so imperative to have support staff who are who can address these issues.
Hmm.
And going forward, let us say 10 years down the line, we were talking, you believe me, there will be a mental health specialist in most of the leading
Yeah.
teams of the world in sports
Yeah.
because it is very important. Players have to, when they have to go to someone, to see what is happening.
Hmm.
uh, that is why I am amazed at a person like Sachin Tendulkar. He can never go. There was a classic
Hmm.
once. Time magazine came and interviewed Sachin, and it was done through Adidas.
Hmm.
So the starting of that article was this: that Michael Jordan can have lunch in his private room in a restaurant. Sachin Tendulkar can't have lunch in public. That's it. That was the starting. You go to test matches, you go to one day international, he is locked up in his room because the moment he shows his face, he's mobbed by
Yeah.
everyone. He is also a wonderful human being. He will never refuse autographs or photographs or anything. So he's closeted in his room. The only pathway for him is the team to the team bus to the ground to the team bus to the hotel. Very little interaction. He cannot, unlike few other players who could go to the restaurants down in the hotel and
Yeah.
have meals, he cannot do that. Everything is room service. It takes a huge toll. But despite that, he was able to perform
Yeah.
day in and day out. But
Yes.
not everybody can handle that.
It's like that
So
Shane Warne thing. Sorry.
mental health is a huge issue in sports. It has to be addressed. I am so happy that some players have come out. So you have to give the pioneers will be Trescothick and Trout because they have expressed. It happens regularly in other sports. In baseball, in American football, it happens regularly. But in cricket, it is new. But going forward, don't expect it to be new and have issues of players wanting to either quit or wanting to take a break because of this. And we have to be understanding towards it.